Hey guys, my name is Hannah, and now that summer is over, finally autumn has come around. I missed autumn. My birthday is in autumn and Halloween is in autumn. It's coming up to Christmas and I just love Christmas time. So as much as I miss summer, I am very much looking forward to autumn and winter. But saying that, I did read some very good books during summer. I read 12 books over my summer holidays, which is 6 weeks long, which is quite a bit shorter or maybe longer compared to other countries. I had 6 weeks, I read about 12 books, which isn't as many as I read last year, but still I've managed to narrow it down to my top 5 books that I read. So without further ado, let's get started. These are in no particular order, by the way. Even if I tried, I probably couldn't order them. The first book is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I did a book talk about this book on my channel. Actually, I'll link it down below if you've read the book and you want to go see it. Basically, there isn't much that I can say about this book because, in my opinion, the best way to go into this book is knowing as little as possible. The effect of the book has a much larger impact on you if you read it not knowing anything. But as you can see, I've tagged 3 pages, and I never really tag pages in books, but I felt a need to tag these pages. This book is absolutely amazing. It's really short, but it felt like it was so much longer than it was because there's so much happened in it. I really love E. Lockhart's writing style in this book. I haven't read any of her other books. I'm not going to say anything about it because I could accidentally spoil you. And I think that if you're going to read it, go into it knowing absolutely nothing at all. The next books, there are 2 because it's a duology, and it is This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. I read these both during summer and I absolutely loved them. These have to go up, both of these books, up onto some of my favourite books of all time. I was never bored. Obviously I'm not going to tell you anything about the second one, but the first one. This book is, from what I got from it, set way in the future in the US, and rather than there being 50 states, there are 10 territories. And this is set in a particular territory called Verity, where there is a massive split between the north and south side. Nena? Na jesam sama sa kameru. Just had to tell my grandma that I'm filming a video because otherwise she would have thought I was crazy talking to myself in my room. There are kind of leaders of the north and south side, and they each have an heir. And something you should know before I keep going is that there are monsters in this world. Every time a crime is committed, depending on the severity of the crime, a monster is born. And half of Verity is kind of led by the Flynn family. The heir to the Flynn family is August Flynn, who is a monster, and he is the rarest kind of monster. And he, in this book, just wants to be human. He doesn't like being a monster. He wants to be able to go to school, he wants to be able to study, he wants to be able to take part in the Flynn Task Force, which is basically battling the less rare monsters, if I put it that way. On the other half of Verity, it is led by the Harker family. Kate Harker is the heir, and this is about Kate's and August's adventure, their story, their friendship. It's all very intense and it's very beautifully written. I don't really have anything to critique about it. Both these books got 5 out of 5 stars for me. Literally, I love them so much. So good. The fourth book, which I don't actually have a copy of because I read it on the Kindle, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read this during Booktubeathon. I loved both Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, but I didn't read Six of Crows during summer. I read it whilst I was still in school, and the reason why it took me so long to read Crooked Kingdom is because I thought that I would read the Grisha trilogy before reading Crooked Kingdom, but then I decided not to. I don't know why, my TBR is already way too long. I really needed to know what happened in Crooked Kingdom, and that book did not disappoint. It was so good. I love all the characters, I love the storyline. There's a perfect balance of character development and plot development. As proven by me, you don't have to read the Grisha trilogy before you read these. I think it definitely helps, and you probably know more about the background. You don't have to. I probably should have done, but I didn't. I love Kaz Brekker so much. Moving on. Last but not least, one of my favourite books that I read this summer is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is about a boy called Monty who's going on a trip around Europe with his best friend Percy and his little sister Felicity. He is actually in love with his best friend Percy. So there is a lot of representation in this book. There's gay and bisexual representation, there's asexual representation, and also disabilities. I read half of it whilst I was in Croatia on holiday and half of it before that. It was such a fun read. I never got bored. I practically couldn't put the book down, and I'm also low-key in love with Monty. Those 3, Monty, Percy and Felicity, go on this tour around Europe and they come across lots of bumps in the road. It does not all go to plan. Monty wanted to have such a great time just going to parties, drinking a lot, doing this and that, but his dad sent someone to go with him to keep an eye on him. Something happens and everything is thrown off course, and there's a huge detour, and it is a huge adventure story. 5 out of 5 stars for me. I think there's a second one coming out, which I am very excited to read. If there isn't a second one coming out, I'm very sad. So good. Thank you, Mackenzie Lee. Thanks. You're a great person. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave in the comments down below what your favourite read of summer was. And yeah, that's it. Bye!